And Russia is burning. The largest wildfires have broken out in Siberia. Villages are burning, houses are being destroyed. According to media reports, the fire has engulfed at least 100 hectares of forest, with more than 150 people and aviation involved in extinguishing it. Several dozen residential houses have burned down in the Dasha cooperatives. By evening, the fire had become a crown fire and started moving toward the settlement. Local residents are preparing for a possible evacuation. Terrifying and shocking photos as well as dramatic videos which have been captured from the fire-affected and devastated areas are currently spreading rapidly everywhere across social media and news outlets. Let's take a closer look together. This right here is the building that has been affected. This is the sphere. But where's my bag actually? Where is it right now? My reliable blacksmith's bag. Thank you, brother. Where's the bag? Where did they run off to, I wonder? Where did they run off to? Do you know by any chance? Authorities note that the situation remains very difficult. The fire is being made worse by the heat, hot, dry weather, and strong winds. In Zabaykalsky Krai, the fires have not stopped for almost 4 months now. Millions of hectares of forest have burned down. In Krasnoyarsk, a powerful downpour and hailstorm washed it away to the ground. Today we will talk about powerful natural disasters in Russia. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. There's panic in Moscow. The hurricane of the century is hitting Russia. Raging fires have left thousands of Russians without electricity, heat, or homes. Everything is burning. Everything that can possibly burn is on fire. You can't see anything. I put my whole life into this place and now I have nothing left. Look, cars are fleeing because their tires are melting from the fire. I don't have a passport. We have nothing. Everything we had burned down. We only managed to save ourselves. This is karma in Russia, a state of emergency. More than 150,000 Russians are without power. A large-scale evacuation has begun. Roads are blocked. Everything is closed. Massive fires and hurricanes. Dozens of villages are engulfed in flames. The fire has come dangerously close to major cities. The most difficult situation is in Krasnoyarsk Krai and the Republic of Khakassia. He's honking, we're running because the flames are coming toward us. Oh my God, just like that. There it is, the fire right next to us. It's sweeping away people, sweeping away houses. A hurricane-force wind has hit several regions of Russia at once, and powerful fires are destroying Siberia. My whole life is here. So much has been invested here, and now it's all gone, just like that. The Federal Chita-Baikalsk highway has been closed because of the hellish fire. Forests near the village of Atamanovka are burning. Nearly 200 Russians, a Mi-8 helicopter, an Il-76, and 2 B-200 amphibious aircraft are currently fighting the fire. Several houses have already burned down. Local residents are evacuating en masse. The situation is being made worse by strong winds. The smoke has already reached Chita. Fires are raging simultaneously in Kuzbas, Khakassia, Altai Krai, and Krasnoyarsk Krai. Because of the gale force winds, the fires are spreading rapidly and destroying entire villages in Siberia. Hurricane force winds and heavy rains have also hit the Kemerovo, Novosibirsk, and Irkutsk regions. According to Russia's Ministry of Energy, power outages caused by the bad weather have affected more than 150,000 Russians.
The situation remains difficult even though the wind has died down. As you can see, it is still present. Moreover, according to the forecast, over the next 7 days, wind speeds could reach up to 20 meters per second. That's more than enough to cause steppe fires. Therefore, once again, I want to urge all our residents to handle fire with extreme caution.
A hurricane-force wind has hit Siberia. It is tearing off roofs, breaking power lines, and contributing to the rapid spread of wildfires. Dozens of villages are engulfed in flames. The fire has come dangerously close to major cities. The most difficult situation is in Krasnoyarsk Krai and the Republic of Khakassia. In Irkutsk Oblast, 17 houses have already been lost and 100,000 people are without power. In Krasnoyarsk Krai, 33,000 are without electricity, and in Khakassia, there are officially 40 injured. Dozens of fires, a wall of flames stretching nearly 80 kilometers. Extremely demanding and very challenging. Will burn down. In Zabaikalsky Krai, the fires have not stopped for almost 4 months now. Millions of hectares of forest have burned. The fires have already reached close to Chita. Right now, the forest near the village of Atamanovka is burning, just 18 kilometers from the city. Landscape forest fires are raging near Abakan and Minusinsk. The fire is approaching homes. People are being urgently evacuated, and those who stay are being told to fight the flames with shovels, according to the Telegram channel Chait D. In Krasnoyarsk, the wind tore off rooftops. One woman died after falling from a balcony. Along the road to the airport, there's a wall of fire that has come right up to the runway. In many regions of Siberia, there are widespread power and water outages. Firefighters have been unable to defeat the flames for 5 days now. The fire is coming dangerously close to homes. At least 3 of them have already burned down. Let's watch this footage. The fire has crossed the Chetazo-Baikalsk highway, which the authorities were forced to close. Friends, we constantly make blogs for you about floods in Sochi, about hellish downpours, tornadoes and hurricanes in Moscow. And now Siberia is burning.
All that's left of the previous life is in the ashes. The fire, driven by hurricane-force winds, consumed both the house and all their belongings. Cars, furniture, clothes, now all of it is just ash. The whole district literally tried to put out the fire, but the Maligan family and their 6-year-old daughter lost absolutely everything.
Without any documents at all, I can't even restore my SIM card. Because I don't have a passport, we have nothing, it will take everything away. We only managed to save ourselves.
Only tears and thousands of questions remain. What happens next? The Antokin family also lost their home. This is the neighboring street. Victoria, the mother of 2 underage children, was sheltering with relatives in Labakan during the hurricane. Now essentially there's nowhere to return to. Ruins and the lonely shell of a stove.
The roof caught fire and that was it. Everything burned down in 5 minutes. The dog burned, the sheds burned. All the buildings, everything. Nothing is left, of course. It's absolutely terrifying now. We managed to leave the house with the kids in advance when the grass first caught fire.
The neighboring field, specifically the one from which the wind blew toward the residential houses, became the conduit for the fires. Sayana Kazigasheva was among the first to lose her home. The 2-story house and all her belongings were destroyed by the flames in a matter of minutes. Now there's only blackened earth all around. At
that end of the street, the fire started. I got scared, grabbed my child, and took them to the city. When I came back, the house was already burning. At
the Vesna gardening community, a total of 5 houses were destroyed, meaning 5 families lost everything at once. 14 plots were damaged to some extent. In Velsapogov, 2 houses burned down. Overall, during the storm in the Usta-Bakansky district, 17 private houses and 6 apartment buildings were damaged, as well as 3 kindergartens, 6 community centers, and 2 farms. The authorities have formed a commission to assess the scale and compile a list of those who need financial assistance.
We are determining the amount of damage, doing what we can. If our own financial resources are not enough, then of course we will turn to the Republic for help. That's for sure. Right now we are helping people in any way we can. If someone has nowhere to stay during this difficult and challenging time and has no relatives or close family to turn to, we provide them with social housing. As for
the causes, of course, there are many factors involved. This includes hurricane-force winds and also the fire prevention measures that authorities should take in advance, or their neglect of these measures. Abandoned plots overgrown with dry weeds pose a major danger at such times. However, each of these plots has its own owner.
The strictest measures will be taken together with the prosecutor's office. We have already exchanged information with the Sybakansky district. We will be preparing documents to carry out municipal land inspections.
Obviously, for many residents of Khakassia, the recent hurricane and fires were a real shock. The terrifying and uncontrollable force of nature turned into a dreadful inferno. Now a new misfortune has appeared, one with a very human face. At night, people have started to notice looters. They
Saw that we were watching, then backed up and turned off their headlights. They drive, stop, and turn off their headlights. And then they turned around and started shining their high beams right into our windows. So they're really watching, like, at the houses.
For the authorities, one of the main tasks right now is to assess the damage and help those affected. Anyone who cares can help with this. The personal number of the head of the Ust-Abakansky district and the Unified Duty Dispatch Service is shown on the screen. You can get more details by calling. People with children have been left with practically nothing, and any help here will not go amiss. And it's easier to get through hardship together than alone. Konstantin Kravtsov, Karim Tuguzhekov, Vesti Khakassia.
Friends, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and let's continue. Nature is taking revenge on Russia for its aggressive, horrifying war crimes, for its invasion of Ukraine. This year, forest fires are breaking all records. The fire has swept through 3 million hectares, 2.7 million of which are in Zabaikalsky Krai and Buryatia. Right now, more than 200,000 hectares of forest are burning in Zabaikalsky Krai. Dozens of public sector workers are being sent to fight the fires under a system of forced volunteerism, but there is no help to be expected from law enforcement or the military. They're not defending their own country, they're destroying someone else's. Now let's take a look at another video. A major city and a powerful downpour hit Krasnoyarsk. According to locals, the hail was the size of cherry tomatoes. It fell in the student campus, Vitluzhanka and the Kirov district.
Holy shit. The windshield is probably completely fucked, fucking seriously. Damn, that is just unbelievable. This is hitting hard, damn. This is really, truly messed up. I can't believe how intense this is. It's absolutely wild and shocking. Holy shit, that's unbelievably intense. This is seriously deeply fucked. Damn, I can't even process how crazy this is.
It wasn't like this. Not at all. Winter.
There was never a downpour like this here, never like this.
There wasn't a downpour, and on the other side there wasn't one either.
What the hell is this? This is some real fucked up shit.
All the elements are thoroughly mixed up together in the bowl.
Wow, that is absolutely unbelievable. Holy shit. Actually, if you are asking my car, really, believe me, you can trust what I'm saying.
There you go. It's done.
Well, now, friends, let's take a look at a top-notch breakdown of Russian propaganda.
Was very drunk. I put my head on his lap in the taxi, and before I even came to my senses, I noticed something, in my head, and then I was already in the apartment, and I was naked, and I woke up and didn't even know his name. Who was this scumbag anyway? There are people who are just scum, just people like that, people who are full of it, of hatred, envy, and greed. This contaminated material is being poured into the ears of our citizens.
What exactly has Iran done wrong, if anything at all? No, I am genuinely asking, what specifically has Iran actually done? Has Iran, at any point, attacked anyone or initiated any form of aggression against another country? Has Iran committed political assassinations in other countries? I'm just genuinely curious. So what did Iran do? Israel, for a long time, has considered itself entitled to kill Iranian scientists.
Among the newly documented crimes, the accused is charged with publicly calling for the mass murder of Ukrainian children in December 2023. It's complete nonsense, obviously, just another psyop, but this very campaign is already being fed to our 3 million viewers. That's what's wrong and what shouldn't be happening. I really hope that we will learn all these lessons, that we will take something useful from them for ourselves, and that we won't make mistakes based on these lessons. And most of all, I hope that while the world is now focusing on them, on all of them, we'll quickly finish what we started because, as Donald Fredovich Trump said, whose birthday was just the other day, if it weren't for the whole world, we would have sorted things out with Ukraine in 3 days. I hope that's how it will be.
Our generation, that is, those of us who are alive today, and even those who are currently enduring or have endured conflict, are likely the very first generation to come after a major war who can truly and deeply appreciate, in a way that is both meaningful and personal, what did that victory really cost? Everyone who went through Mariupol, everyone who went through Ugledar, everyone who spent 9 months pushing the enemy out of the Kursk region, everyone who knows what it means to lose comrades, who knows what it's like when, after the so-called liberation of settlements, in reality, nothing is left of them. We, more than anyone, understand this victory. And we know exactly what it takes to reach it, but we also understand that we still have to actually reach it in the end.
So the scariest ones, in my opinion, are not actually those people who are now loudly shouting and proclaiming that Russians should be killed. No, that is not the case. The scariest ones are those who are now 7, 8, and 9 years old. Because in 10 years they will be complete scoundrels, having been taught from the very first grade that they have an enemy who must be destroyed, and there will be no other feeling, no other emotion inside them. If the current generation still has parents who lived through the Soviet Union, they might still be able to say something, maybe at some point, over dumplings. But for those who are now 7, 8, or 9, well, excuse me, they will be the most frightening ones.
It's truly completely hopeless. A lost cause, really. And this is now being discussed almost at the official level. If they had signed in 2022, they wouldn't have lost as much as they are guaranteed to lose today. Moreover, by digging in his heels, Zelensky is essentially forcing us to move forward and therefore to take new territories. In fact, we'll find ourselves in a situation where we come to a certain territory, people will believe in us again, and we won't be able to leave that territory because then, well, you understand what would happen.
A widowed woman should emulate Blessed Zania, a woman who, having once married, never gave herself to anyone else again. She never put on makeup again. She buried her husband and buried her heart along with him. And she gave her soul and body to God and became a saint, so now she helps everyone. And now there are many widows, and widows can be different. Some are, as Paul says, pleasure-seeking, as if their husbands have died, but those who remember their husbands feel ashamed to give themselves to another man because there is no death. The husband will look from the other world. It's somehow shameful. After all, a blanket doesn't hide a person from the eyes of God or from the eyes of those living there.
I believe, and I want to emphasize that this is, of course, just my personal opinion, but I think it is absolutely necessary that we officially announce a mobilization. We need to begin preparing well in advance, at least 500,000 people, and realistically, we should aim for a total of 1 million individuals. These people should be called up, brought together, and we must start training them as soon as possible, ensuring they are ready for any eventuality. Prepare them for the undeniable fact that the war has already started, which we already know is the Third World War. But now it has taken on new forms and new momentum, so that no one even thinks of playing games with us the way they've played with all other countries. And now even with Iran, believe me, we all need to unite, to come together at every level.
Friends, thank you for being with me. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We will definitely win. Glory to the armed forces of Ukraine!